Good afternoon, I'm Colette Linden.
And I'm Dani Dupuis. Welcome to the Special Report PM edition.
We just got blasted out by the music in our ear.
Every
it was
single
awesome,
time.
but it was like surround sound, and now we're going to go to the Premier.
Well, good afternoon. COVID-19 has been a relentless enemy. Its job numbers weigh heavy on my heart. People have lost their jobs. They don't know if they'll make rent next month. They're worried about making ends meet. We know people are struggling, and today's numbers hit close to home. These are more than just statistics. They represent a small business owner, a store clerk, or a local tourism operator. Real people who are struggling through no fault of their own. In the face of adversity, we must stand together and support each other. We must keep fighting. We must keep going. We must support each other through these difficult times. Believe me, my friends, there's a light at the end of this dark tunnel. We're moving closer to our goal every day. We're flattening the curve. We've been able to move forward because there's an army of 14.5 million people who've all been pulling in the same direction. At the same time, we've been laying the groundwork. We've been helping businesses get ready, adapt to this new environment. We set up a jobs and recovery task force. We fired up our manufacturing engine to make PPE for our frontline workers. We provided over $17 billion in support and relief in the fight against COVID-19. We put in place over 60 workplace safety guidelines, and today we have a solid foundation. We have the right framework for reopening our economy. We have the guidelines to protect workers, and we're going to get Ontario working again as quickly and safely as possible. And that starts today. Today, garden centers and nurseries can fully open, just in time for Mother's Day. And tomorrow, hardware and safety supply stores will open their doors. On Monday, thousands of people will go back to work. Retail stores, hardware, and safety supply stores will open their doors. On Monday, thousands of people will go back to work. Retail stores with a street entrance will begin opening to curbside pickup. That's thousands of people earning a paycheck, working at our mom and pop shops, our small businesses, our department stores, and big box stores. And most important of all, we found a way to get them back to work safely, in a way that protects them and their customers by following the best medical advice available. My friends, there's a long road ahead of us, and there will be some difficult days ahead. We have an uphill battle in front of us, but if we safely, in a way that protects them and their customers by following the best medical advice available. My friends, there is a long road ahead of us, and there will be some difficult days ahead. We have an uphill battle in front of us, but if we stay united, if we look out for each other, if we give each other a helping hand, we will come out of this stronger and more united, ready to roll up our sleeves and get to work. It will take time and it will take effort, but together we will rebuild what we have lost. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll turn it over to Minister Phillips.
Thank you, Premier. Every single one of the 689,000 jobs lost in April represents an individual and a family who is hurting. This virus has taken a terrible toll on people's health, and on people's personal financial security. As you know, every step we've taken has been to protect the people of Ontario during this global pandemic. On March 17th, we declared a state of emergency. On March 25th, we announced a $17 billion response package that included $3.3 billion in additional money for healthcare, $3.7 billion in direct support for people and jobs, and $10 billion in cash flow relief for individuals and businesses. Since then, we've announced pandemic pay for our frontline heroes and commercial rent relief for small businesses. We've worked with our federal partners every step of the way, united in our mission to get through COVID-19. None of this has stopped the global pandemic from causing significant pain and heartbreak here in Ontario. Today, as the Premier said, we stand united as a province, shoulder to shoulder with those who've been hurt by this virus. I want them to know that we are going to beat COVID-19. We've already been able to lift some restrictions, as the Premier mentioned. And I've just come from a meeting of the Ontario Jobs and Recovery Committee, which Premier Ford asked me to chair. Our work is based on the framework to reopen our province, which was released last week, and it sets out 3 stages, as well as core public health criteria necessary to move towards reopening. Our next step is to provide more details on each of the stages. I know that people are eager for these details, and we are eager to share them. I believe that we'll be in a position soon to do that. Our goal will be to provide the clarity and heads up employers need to be ready. I'm confident we'll soon be in a position to take another step, a significant step, and that should give us hope. Thank you.
We'll go to the phone line for questions. Just a reminder, 1 question, 1 follow-up. First, Mark, we can't hear you. Can you please speak up?
We need to provide the clarity and heads up employers need to be ready.
Take next question.
Next question comes from Sean Jeffords from the Canadian Press. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Premier Ford. Wanted to.
Welcome back. Yes, 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 and yes. Retail stores are open on Monday. I can go to.
They're opening now.
I'm just excited to get my hypoallergenic semi-permanent hair dye that I can't buy anywhere else but Sally's, and they didn't have it online. So this is why the bun has been in full force for the last couple weeks, and the eyebrows are getting waxed.
That's going to be so much fun.
Very excited.
I can't wait just to get my nails done.
Oh, wait, what's the weather going to be like again, though? Hang on.
Pause. Okay, everyone, I apologize. If you have looked outside, it is snowing right now. Please don't blame the weather person on this one. So currently it's 0, but it does feel like -6 right now. There is 48 kilometer gusts of wind. Sorry, Chris. I bet you your girlfriend's probably swimming across already. Yeah. She's going, nope, I don't want this weather. Heading over to Saturday, it's going to be a few flurries. It's going to feel like -4. Sorry. And Mother's Day, it's going to be 3 with a low of -2. And those flurries could accidentally move into Sunday. So for all you mothers out there, I apologize. It might be snowy. But you know
That's
what?
okay.
We do know that there's a polar vortex coming in to Ontario right now. So the weather is just all over the place right now. So it's unfortunate.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, if it's snowing and it's cold, there's nothing wrong with laying in the couch with a big blanket, having your kids ask you to make them food for you because it's not going to happen, and then have our blankies and then watch movies, right?
So much fun.
So that's good enough. That's okay. That's okay. What do you got first, Chris?
Well, it's good that the garden centers are going to be open this weekend because, it sounds like a perfect gardening weekend in Canada. So I'm going to have some updated numbers about Algoma, and then also I'm going to talk a little bit about the unemployment numbers as well. And then also, how are the malls going to be reopening? I'm going to talk a little bit about what their strategy will be and what they will have to do in each store, and then also in the actual mall itself. You will not be able to go to the mall and just loiter and walk around, because there will be still some restrictions, but stores are going to start opening with some reduced hours and obviously enforcing social distancing as well. They're recommending face masks and gloves and so on. More about that in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I kind of hope they get rid of the arrows in the aisles, but
Daunting looking at it.
I know in the Dollarama you're only allowed to have 2 people in that aisle, but man, you get dirty looks if you're like go to make the mistake of doing. You're like, oh, you know.
Or stores too, you can only go up an aisle or down an aisle. They have those arrows.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like if you go the wrong way, which I did at Shoppers Drug Mart the other day, and I got a dirty look. I deserved it though. I deserved it though.
But you know what? There are some of us out there who have been mindful, and we do know that there are individuals out there who haven't been. So with restrictions lifting up, you know what? Maybe now's the time to be mindful.
Yeah, that's true.
Be nice.
But if you're going grocery shopping, you can't do the 2 lane. That's impossible, especially at
And you're not
Metro.
going to even cross anyone either. Like, it's not.
You don't. It's like one of these. You do one of those. Okay, but we do have Mother's Day on Sunday, and they are opening flower shops and everything, and we do have some great ideas that we want to talk about for Mother's Day, COVID-19 style. And I'm trying to find some, romantic gifts from the husband to the wife too. So we'll see what happens
Maybe a
there.
foot massage. There. Go back to the basics.
So we are going to go to a commercial shortly, but I do want to say, Dan LaPrade and Casey Security, thank you for your sponsorship. We'll be right back with some more COVID-19 updates from Chris. We've got some Mother's Day activities that you can do with your kids and some funny jokes too, I think. We'll wait and see. Be right back.
COVID-19 is a serious public health threat. All Canadians must act now to reduce the spread. Avoid crowded places and practice social distancing. Avoid non-essential travel and stay home as much as possible. Self-isolate if you may have been exposed to COVID-19. Stay connected with neighbors, friends, and family. When you take care of yourself, you take care of others.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Even though we can't always meet in person, we can still listen.
Even though schools are closed, help is still available in your community.
Even though you may be worried, services and supports are still here.
In stressful times like these, families need mental health supports more than ever.
We are here to make sure you can stay connected to your community and culture.
Nous savons qu'il peut être difficile de rester à la maison, mais vous n'êtes pas seul.
And we know asking for help for yourself and others can be hard.
But there are people in your community who are ready to support you.
No matter your age, gender, sexual identity, race, or culture.
No matter the day, time, or issue.
We're here to help.
Welcome back. Thank you to Casey Security for your sponsorship. Want to talk parade?
Yeah, so as we know, there are appreciation parades just sweeping Sault Ste. Marie lately. And please remember, if you are doing these appreciation parades, keep moving. That's our biggest thing, keep moving. There was one on Wednesday, and it hit all the nursing homes. We just got information that there's going to be another parade today at 1:50. They're starting at Cedarwood Lodge. They're going to go down Great Northern Road to the LCBO, over to Ofra for 2:10.
Wait a minute, stop. They're going to the LCBO?
Yes. So what they're doing on top of this, they're supporting frontline workers.
I'm sorry, but I thought they were just going to the retirement home.
No, they
I'm like, I think she said LCBO.
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right, sorry.
So after stopping at Ofra, they're going over to No Frills, Metro, LCBO, and the beer store. They're showing not only their support for frontline workers, but they're also doing appreciation for retail stores.
Okay, we'll
So
go
for
by
this-
Little Caesars because my son's been working every Thursday and Sunday since it broke out. So
go
Little
everywhere.
Caesars too. Okay, so Burlington, City of Burlington. A couple weeks ago, they were talking about how they were ticketing people if it was more than 3, more than 5. Does anybody remember the exact number? It was 5. Anyways,
like that,
it was just the City of Burlington, City of Hamilton's attached to Burlington and they weren't doing it and Oakville wasn't doing it. So I don't know what was going on in the city of Burlington, but then it came across the news desk 2 days ago that they stopped doing it all of a sudden. So
Really?
I guess they're allowing them now to do more than 5 cars. I don't know why it was just the city, but
That's really weird.
yeah, it's kind of odd, isn't it?
Especially when you're in that part of Ontario, you never know when you're actually crossing from one city to the next because it's just
No, you don't.
It's just a sea
Yeah.
of homes the whole
Yeah.
time.
Well, there's Burloak Drive, so you know you're right in between Burlington and Oakville. You might be in trouble if you've got 5 cars over here.
I guess
Anyways,
it depends
not
on
anymore.
which side of the street you're on.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
If you're on the west side, you're okay. So a couple of ideas for the kids, for your moms, and I hope Dante and Connor are watching. Breakfast in bed for mom with a mimosa. There's more, but I wanted to start with that.
But are you buying the alcohol for them to provide for you?
Connor can
Dante's
get that.
only like what?
Dante's 9. Connor's 18.
They're totally carding him at the LCBO.
No, Connor can do it. He can do it. Distant backyard meetups. I don't know if you guys have been seeing some of these stuff that's on Facebook, but they actually have a part of the fence where it comes down.
Oh, yes.
And it's like you can play cards with your neighbors here on this side, and you're playing cards. And then one lady's like, no. And she ends up to put in like a
Flipping it
tiki
back
bar
over.
or something. Oh, no. She turns it into a tiki bar.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and just have the kids make cards. Dads, make sure you make the kids make cards. And at home day spa. I highlighted my favorite.
I can see.
What else do you have over there for news before we throw over to Chris?
Yeah. So for news right now, as we said, Mother's Day is coming up, and with the new announcement with 4-2, they announced that garden centers are now open. So we also just want to make everyone aware that the Rome's Garden Center has opened. They are going to be operating between 8 and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then on weekends it's 8 to 6. Very unfortunate right now because it's snowing. Again,
Stop
sorry.
saying it.
I can't help it. I can't. I'm ready for ice fishing again. I am.
Well, no. Oh, forget it. Over to you, Chris. Danny's done.
Oh, please, no. Okay. Yeah. Well, actually, last summer, my sister lives in Calgary, and they had snow in June. So, yeah, it can happen. Okay, so first off, the Algoma numbers. They have changed drastically today, but don't be alarmed by this. I'll explain why. We have now tested 4,891 people. That is way up. We are actually waiting for almost 2,000 tests. We're waiting for 1,999 tests. We still have only 3 positive cases, and that's at Extended Care Mapleview. The reason the testing results that have not come in yet that are pending is because we just tested all of our long-term care homes for both the residents and the workers. So that's why you're seeing a big spike in the outstanding tests. It will take a little while for the provincial government to get through those tests, but it's nothing to be alarmed of. It's not like all of a sudden there was all these calls and from across our region and everybody went into testing centers. It's because this is reflecting the numbers from the long-term care homes, staff, and residents. Now, unemployment numbers came out today. They're bad. 2 million people lost their jobs in April. However, there is actually a little glimmer of hope in these numbers. They're actually way better than what the economists were expecting. They were expecting 3 million layoffs in April, and it was only 2. We also had 1 million layoffs in March, so we've lost 3 million jobs, which has put our unemployment rate up to 13%. Economists were actually expecting that number to be 18%. And as Doug Ford talked about today in his press conference, we are starting to open things up. So that means people will be going back to work. The people who were temporarily laid off, some of them will start going back to work. Also, stores are going to be hiring more people to help deal with the fact that they are now opening. Some of the malls will be opening their stores. Now, there's going to be no space in the mall for walking around and just hanging out. The food courts, they are also going to be greatly restrained in how you can use them. And there'll be special entrances and exits in the malls, but I'll get more into the malls in my next segment. And back to the desk.
No, I can't
Thanks,
wait
Chris.
to go to a mall.
It's going to be so nice.
I know.
Be prepared to wait in line.
Oh, well, that's the other thing, too. Every time I tell my kids I'm going to the grocery store, I'll be back in 20 minutes. I can't get them timelines anymore because you don't know how long the lineup's going to be. But it actually works in your favor when you want that break from your kids, too. Not going to lie. We have hashtag in this together SSM video coming up after a commercial break. It's with Paisanos, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Eugene was great. And the best coffee I've ever had. When we
Really?
were
I should
over there.
have got bring me back on.
Good.
You did offer too.
But we did have an interview with Alzheimer's today, the Alzheimer's Society. So we had Terry and Bea on. And you know what? They're doing some really amazing things right now. They're still offering, just because they're not in the office doesn't mean they're still not offering their services. It's more virtual right now. And they also wanted the community to know that there is a raffle draw happening. It's called the Ladies Luxury Raffle.
Sounds great.
There's some luxury prizes. So the first prize is an Escape and Explore. So it's a travel package. And what she was saying too is you can, if you do win this first prize, you can hold on to the travel voucher for almost 2 years before you can go and do it. So there's a numerous number of prizes coming out, and when we release that interview, I'll have a little segment to go with it. But they do want everyone to know that right now their fundraising efforts are towards $400,000 that they're trying to fundraise. And this raffle is going to be a huge contributor. Tickets are only $10 and there's $10 and there's only 4,050 tickets available. So if you're interested in this, make sure you call the Alzheimer's Society, because that's where you can get your ticket.
That's good. I know we have cysticfibrosis.ca as our fundraiser for this week. Just want to remind you to go to cysticfibrosis.ca, click donate. You can also donate to our pledge for a runner too. So yeah.
Oh, and with running stuff. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Well, you did. No, just kidding. I cut you off about 10 times a day.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I still love you though.
And cutting me off is an entire segment. So
Well, just get used to it. Don't worry about it. Sorry. You cut her off, Chris. Go, Tierney.
I just want to let everyone know, if you are connected to Strava, which is a running app, they are hosting different challenges right now. So there's a 5K challenge. After you complete it, you actually donate $5 towards frontline workers. So they're doing all these different things. There's Run for Food Banks, Run for Frontline Workers. Just
that's great.
Sky's the limit. So
Well,
we're
just
having
before
fun
we go
with
to a
that.
commercial, I do want to say that we did have the what was I talking about this morning? And I couldn't remember. The 21 Don't Challenge. Thank you. And I've got more information about that, and hopefully we can do that. It's just to raise money for Easter Seals, because they weren't able to run any of their fundraisers due to COVID-19. But that we'll touch on that again when we come back from this commercial break. Be right back.
A message from the Government of Canada.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room. Create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
Welcome back. We are sponsored by Casey Security, and we're going to throw it over to Chris for some more updates.
Thank you. And now I'm going to explain what's going to happen with the malls and what to expect. First, reduced hours. They're not going to be open the same hours they were before. And this is for two reasons. One, they need to retrain the staff, they need to re-merchandise the store, and each store will have to reevaluate each day how the people are moving through the store and make changes if necessary for social distancing. Second, the customer traffic. When you show up to the mall, there will probably be an entrance door and an exit door. So if a mall has 6 doors, it'll have 3 entrances and 3 exits. You'll be socially distanced at the entrance, and you'll also be encouraged not to stay near the exit doors as well. There will be floor decals as well, showing you where you can walk to with arrows, and also each store will only be allowed so many people inside, so there will be tape on the ground spaced out 6 feet apart. You've already been doing this at the grocery store. The same idea will happen in the malls as well. Also, the food courts. Every other table will be roped off so that people will be at least 6 feet apart from table to table. So you will also only be allowed to eat for so long in the food court before you will have to leave. There will be a time limit, or once your food's done, then you got to leave. Also, they cannot enforce masks and gloves inside of stores. For some legal reason, I don't know why, but they can't enforce it. But they are asking that if you go to the mall, wear a glove and masks so you don't spread COVID-19. Back to the desk.
That was a very informative session, Chris Oldcorn. Thank you very much for that update.
Shop safely.
I was sounding sarcastic, but I really wasn't. That was a good one. Let's do Paisanos.
Yes. Oh, it was so great when we did this interview.
Yeah.
Eugene was so awesome, and you know what? Kudos to you and your team for providing curbside pickup and everything else. So here we go into that video.
So what I do is I have hand sanitizer everywhere. We wash our hands continuously. We have stations set up. We disinfect all our cash registers, our Interact machines, our door handles, our freezer handles, and we do that probably 3 or 4 times a day. And then we ask that customers spread out, so if there's too many people at once, we'll ask them to leave and wait outside. And all of my staff has ensured me that they go home, they don't leave at night, so they're just, they're all social distancing at home. And it's been working out pretty good. They've been very good. They've been working hard, and you know, we're all doing our part. We have plexiglass set up at both cash registers, and I'm in the process of getting more to make more of a circular, so we can take people on both ends of the cash. So if someone feels uncomfortable, then we have 2 areas that they can cash on at. Yeah, so basically we're doing what we can.
So on top of things that... Oh, well, thank you again for doing that video. It looks awesome. I definitely need to go and try that coffee, I guess, eh?
Oh my gosh, it was delicious.
And all the delicious sandwiches.
Honestly, when I walked in there, I was like, oh my gosh, it's my grandma's house. It was so good.
They have meatballs and sausage.
Everything.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome.
Everything.
Well, look, we're almost ready to go home. There's only 2 minutes left. It's TGIFFF. You wanted to talk bouncy castles.
Yes, okay. My girlfriend sent me this Snapchat the other day, and to be honest, guys, I didn't realize bouncy castles were essential. There was her neighbor had a bouncy castle, and maybe 15 people in their backyard. Again, not social distancing, but I had kind of a look at Canadian Tire, and you know what? They're still selling bouncy castles.
Oh well.
They are essential to 5-year-olds.
They are,
Yes.
and they're essential to mothers too.
How do you clean those?
A lot of Lysol wipes. Which explains why there's no Lysol wipes in the store. Everybody's wiping down their bouncy castles.
Oh, gosh. So, you know what? If anyone has bouncy castles out there, be safe and have fun. I mean, I didn't realize that.
Oh no, and not only that, I mean, they're great for the kids at birthday parties too, but when the kids go to bed and like the adults start having a couple glasses of
do you
wine,
guys go back in there?
Oh, so much fun. You have to try it. You have to try it. We were laughing earlier when it came back from your Paisanos videos because Chris did his segment in ultra speed time, eh?
Fastest we've ever seen.
So I don't know if we watched was it Lorelai and Rory from Gilmore Girls? That's what Chris sounded like today, but I think he did a good job anyways. So we got to wrap it up. At 5 o'clock today, we're going to have the news. And in that newscast, you are going to see the Paisanos video played in full. It's also going to be posted to our YouTube page, so make sure you check it out. Watch 5 o'clock news for all your updates and catch that video. At 7 o'clock, you'll get Chris Oldcorn, perhaps talking like Lorelai and Rory from Gilmore Girls again.
He could just play both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, my 30-minute show is now only 6 minutes because I did it Gilmore Girls style, so...
Well, I guess now I'm tuning in for sure to watch it. So it's 7 o'clock tonight. And we'd like to thank Dan and everybody at Casey Security for keeping us safe and being your sponsor. Have a great weekend, Sault Ste. Marie. We will see you on Monday morning.
See you Monday.